All right,
So
folks, how are you
hello.
doing? Without any fanfare, I said we're too busy. And normally I would do the the music and the blah, 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 blah. I'm busy and Miss Peggy's busy. Well, I'll get it. Hopefully, again, one of those other things I got to do on my list of things to do.
Yeah.
But we're doing it here. It is the Raider report card
And we've
with
got
Miss
two
Peggy.
weeks. We got
Yeah.
2 weeks to grade. And know it, Captain, it's hard to do a combined score, but I want to really talk about first start talking about offense because we got a lot to say on that. Give me your overall grade for the first 2 weeks of the season, and you have to do an average.
Yeah.
Week one and week two.
Well, week one.
Well, let's do it by unit. Let's start with the O line because you
Yeah.
know that's
Okay.
my pet
Oh,
peeve.
oh, that's easy. I mean, I know we got a W in our last game. Yeah, Chris, I know about the Philly. I turned it off after Taiwan gave up a 3-run home run. Sorry, Chris. He's watching the Phillies. Taiwan got blasted. Um, I mean, yeah, we got to win, but the offensive line, and I'm an offensive lineman by trade. I'm an offensive line coach. I mean, these are things I said. It's your pet peeve. It's my pet peeve too.
Mhm.
And the offensive line, and this is being kind, is a D, as in Delta.
How about that run? The running backs, the run game, since they go together.
That's also a D because I
Hmm.
think I looked up from the on the scoreboard in Baltimore. And by the way, it's so good to see you. By the way, you
It
know,
is. It is.
yeah. I mean, I miss seeing you and at least getting live and hopefully this is personal, folks. But I can't wait until I get the picture I took with Miss Peggy in
Oh
Baltimore.
yeah, yeah. We
Hopefully,
we we balled in Baltimore, and it was a fun time. Raider fans were everywhere, all over the city. But I do want to talk about those running backs.
D. And the unfortunate is, and I know that you saw this. You used to criticize Jacobs for running into the backs of the
Yeah, yeah.
offensive linemen.
But
Uh,
I want to comment about that in terms of the blocking scheme. Okay,
okay,
that Getsy is trying to impose on people who have never, at least 3 of 5 of his linemen and none of his running backs have ever done zone blocking. I went back to their college careers just to see what kind of scheme they're used to running. If it's not broke, you don't fix it. If you had power blocking and it was working, why would you try to impose your own system? This is what I'm afraid about when you get these mediocre coordinators in here, members of the good old boy network. They tend to want to impose their own systems because, quite frankly, they don't have the genius or the level of experience or intelligence. In our case, our guy doesn't know how to do anything else, right? He's only
yeah,
been an offensive coordinator 2 years. And now you're trying to impose a scheme, a blocking scheme on an O line and the running backs that you never had before. Well, let's go even further. I give both of them an F. And I know about the cutback lanes being missed. That's what zone blocking is about. But that's not the kind of running back you got.
yeah. And actually, I think that Madison, who got the only touchdown against the Garglers in week one, and we wouldn't have even had a touchdown had he not been a world class Olympic hurdler
Mm-hmm.
to jump over the defender.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how many yards we had in the first game, but it wasn't impressive. I know that I looked up at the scoreboard. I think it was 24 total
Mm-hmm.
rushing yards.
Yes.
And I know that I guess in the NFL they take sacks from that, or is that just
No. And I got into a slight spat with somebody.
uh
Sacks, ESPN and PFF
right?
take sacks from the quarterback's total, not his total passing yards. They do not take it from the run game. That was authentic numbers you saw. 24. It wasn't minus anything.
Well, and I
Okay.
was just going to say that was I said that sounded about right. So I was figuring how could they do that? Because again, I know I in college, I know they do that. You know, sacks are taken out of the running game, and
No,
I was
not in
wondering if
not
they
in
did
not
the
in the
same
pro
thing.
level. At least
Yeah.
not for NFL.com, ESPN. I see them taking the sack totals from the quarterback. But let's get back to that O line. First of all, Parham is too small to be a guard. The best he can do is center. James, everybody is still mystified how he got re-signed to a 3-year contract. What is the job of a center on the O-line
Well, he
besides
is.
snapping the ball?
Well, no. He's the guy that calls out the formations, what the blocking schemes are going to be, how to set the coverages, and the scheme and the coverages, and who picks up the guys that are supposed to be the coming in on the quick blitzes and whatnot. He is actually the most important person on offense, in my estimation, is the center.
I want everybody, when they look at the game Sunday, to see how many times Andre James actually stands up, and I've seen all the great ones, the Jeff Saturdays, all of the great centers of the game, and of course, our guy, right? It's a lot. I've seen them all. They stand up. They lift up. Matter of fact, they get to the line of the scrimmage. They're the last guy down. Why? Because they're looking over the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And then they're actually calling out signals, point. Have you seen the centers that point, right? And say things to their guys on the side, especially the two guards next to them. And they start moving pieces around, actually. Now, on some teams, the quarterback does this, and I think that's our problem here. Derek Carr used to do that. He was the one that moved people around with his audibles, okay? So James doesn't have an experience doing it, and I want y'all to watch Sunday. See how many times he actually stands up and looks before he gets into his final stance. He did it not at all on Sunday. And I think that's the other thing. On the other side, you got to talk about Colton Miller. You think he's 100%?
No, and that's one of those things. Like we're missing JPJ, who if I read the reports correctly, the coach Pierce is looking for him to play Sunday. Thank God, because
we'll see.
Well, wait a second, because this ties in with Colton Miller too. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Colton Miller has been playing like ass. And I'm sorry to say it, this is our all-pro left tackle. And I know that Stuart Schweiger gets on people for saying when you call out the people because these are professional football players. And he has a point that they are the 0.01% of all. I get it, Stu, and we love you for it. But the guy's playing like ass, but I think it's still because he has not gotten over that injury that's kept him out. Okay.
Well, let's re-roll the video tape a little further back to the beginning of last season. Okay. And I want to talk about his decline, which I saw happening. I saw him allowing buku pressures. I saw from the backside. I just did not see the Colton Miller that we have been used to seeing in years past. And this was before he got hurt. And let me tell you my theory. When you start getting outplayed and beat all game after game after game, you know the next step is you're going to get hurt. and you're going to get hurt because you're trying too hard, right? To keep from getting outplayed again, game after game. Colton was getting outplayed from day one last year. And this year, another injury, same thing is happening. And maybe it's time the Raiders look at their OG position. I think that's what's going on. And excuse me, the OT position. But the guard play, Captain, I have never seen.
Yeah. And it's horrible. In fact, I did see, because I was keying on what Violator told me of what he saw the first week in LA. He said that there was a bunch of movement of guys moving in to different positions. There was movement amongst the offensive linemen. So I actually paid attention to that, at the game in Baltimore. So I saw Andres Pete in at left guard, and I can't remember which play it was, where both Miller and Pete looked at each other, because whoever got the pressure or sacked on Minshew was right over both of them. And they looked at, Alphonse and Gaston going, I thought that was it was horrible. Okay.
Well, I mean, familiarity, playing together. Yeah.
Yeah, and Whitehair obviously ain't doing the job. He's the only one that knows the system, but if you still suck, knowing the system does not really help. Okay.
Let me throw some statistics out to our audience about our O-line. Most sacks allowed, 5th lowest pass blocking efficiency, 8th most pressures allowed, 23. 4 of our linemen rank in the bottom 12 of PFL ratings. Now, Captain, I know we're feeling thrilled about what happened in Baltimore, and that's why I want to move on to your grade for the quarterback play.
Well, I mean, if you're grading on the W and L,
yeah.
If you're grading on the W and L, and by the way, I saw that Gardner Minshew is the only quarterback in the entire NFL that has thrown for it was what, 250 or 350 plus each game. That got to be 250, because 300 would be too much. But 250 in each game, and he's the only quarterback to have done that. He's one of 32, and he's won one game.
I mean, his passer efficiency is really off the charts, and that was for both games. Okay, you couldn't see it amidst the complete destruction of the running game. We had none, and you couldn't see it because of all the sacks, and of course, the interceptions. That crazy one that happened to him. And if you look at Gardner's throwing motion, he always pats the ball down before he takes it back. And that crazy interception that happened where it looked like the ball slipped out of his hand, he was doing that pat down thing. He has a habit of hitting his hand down. I saw it many, many times.
Are you talking about the interception or the fumble?
Game one, where there was
the fumble
backwards pass. It looked like the ball slipped out of his hands.
Yeah.
He does his patting thing before he throws. But I'm telling you, he's been one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the NFL both weeks. But nobody sees it, especially in the L. When you take an L.
And I admit, when he did that, I blew my top in game one. I blew my top and said, I've seen enough, because I expected more from him as a veteran with moxie and capability. And I admit it, I overreacted. I blew my top and said, get this bum out of here. Give me AOC. Even though he would have been a statue and a pillar, I said, at least he can throw the ball. And it's still true. But Minshew, when you look at all the things that he's done, plus he's won one game. He threw a horrible pick to, I think, Humphrey, because it was a short pass. I don't. He was trying to hit the tight end, but it was real short, and it just looked horrible. You have the fumble lateral, got it, but yeah, when you look at all the things as a
overall, and remember doing this with no running game.
Yeah. No negative running game. He is the running game. He's running around. That's the running game. Even though he doesn't get credit for it, it's not a positive stat, but his running around is what doing it. I'd like to thank everybody that's over there on Instagram. I'm watching you over here.
And
come on
Mike,
over to
Mike
YouTube
and Ed are here. And
yep.
Some of my favorite people are joining us. Sorry about the double posts on that I'm putting up. I think it's doing both YouTube and Facebook posting at the same time. It don't matter. I say it once, I say it twice. I have to give the quarterback play B. And I'm going to say that because it's in spite of horrible O-line play and no running game. It's just him. It's just him back there. I mean, come on. And I have to say, go right on to the receiving core. What's your grade for
but before we go there, because we kind of got away from the O-line before I wanted, because you were talking about Miller and you were and I was talking about JPJ.
I knew we would come back to it because
I know, because I'm not going to let you go because I'm the offensive lineman here.
Right. And I'd like to go to the receivers. Get your impression. Who you think is really balling out, and of course we have to talk about Bowers, but
yeah, well, but it's Bowers and Adams,
right,
both of them.
And let me say this, and this where it goes back to the quality of our offensive coordinator. And Mike, I'm getting ready to tell you about that offensive coordinator. Being a baby, a little infant. He's not the guy with the chops, with the intellect, with the experience to design plays on 2 or 3 different levels. Hence, you have everything going to Bowers and Adams, captain, and not any evidence of use of Jacoby Myers and Trey. I mean, if they were integrated into the offense, and we had an offensive coordinator that could actually move 4 chess pieces around at a time, I don't think we'd be stoppable as far as the passing game is concerned. I have to give the receivers a C. I think that it's not them, it's the scheme. I think that they can do a lot better in terms, especially in the beginning, the first 2 quarters, Captain. Come on now. They're non-existent half of the game.
But if you're going to
give you a whole grade for that.
Yeah, we'll see. That is why, and you're probably going to call it a cop-out, I would give half of the receivers an A and the other half an incomplete. And it's not the old, it's not you, it's me. You hear, gentlemen, you've used that term with ladies and whatnot. It's not you, it's me.
Okay. Well,
I obviously, personally, I know you've never heard that, Peggy, because
look at he said he never heard it before. I mean, I'm actually relieved by the time that gets out of their mouth. But go ahead.
But it's not them. It's not Tucker. It's not Myers, and it's not Mayer, because I'd love to see more of him.
Of course.
Okay, I see. And Bowers is just outstanding. Obviously, Devontae is, and we need to make sure that he's happy, because, folks, if Devontae's not happy, he's gone. He will pitch such a bitch. He will be gone faster than a hurricane in the Gulf in August. In inclement way, like woo, he'll be gone. But
so you give Devontae and Bowers what grade?
An A.
Or B.
And
and then you give the others an
everybody else is
incomplete.
incomplete. Yeah.
Right, because they, again, it's the design of the scheme. And oh, by the way, you got to have time to set up a lot of these passing patterns, and everyone knows that. And Minshew has no time.
No,
and he has no
true.
running game so that you can do a lot of stuff off of play action, right?
What's that?
Excuse me.
That's that's a foreign term. That was supposed to be a very important, that was supposed to be a very important part of the offense was play action. But
that assumes that you can run the football and that safeties actually feel like they need to camp close to the line of scrimmage. Okay. And that didn't happen. That has not occurred yet. And did you see, before I go on to give the to talk about other parts of our team, did you see the Getsy press conference where, excuse me, the Pierce press conference where he says there might be changes in the offensive scheme? Wonder what he means by that, Captain.
Well,
it needs to be changed.
Yeah, and I'm glad that he said something. I mean, here's the thing. And this goes back, and I don't know whether that you've heard me bitch about the last couple, because people were bitching about, the offensive production and things that we've had, and I've said, and they're bitching about Getsy. I said, okay, I get it. He was the guy we hired. I said, but other than Cliff Kingsbury and the guy who was the Eagles / UCLA coach, I can't. What's his name?
Well, I mean, there were others. Kubiak was out there until April. Bieniemy, of course, was out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, but okay, but Kubiak wasn't asked, and Bieniemy wasn't asked. So I'm saying, let's talk about legitimate overtures to offensive people that were available. They overtured the Kingsbury, and I'm telling you this, folks. My opinion, is when Kingsbury was told in no uncertain terms that we are not going up to number 1 to get Caleb Williams. It
was impossible to go up to number 1. 1, 2, and 3 were not trading their picks.
Right. And so it was one of those things where he said, I'm going to take my football and I'm going away. And that's the way it is. And he thumbed his nose because we told him you're not going to get Caleb Williams. And oh, by the way, we're not going after Jaden Daniels. And even if we wanted Drake May, we're not getting him either. And he said, that's all I needed to hear. Thanks. I'm gone. And that was it, because he said bye. So,
I mean, there were so many guys out there, albeit members of the Good Old Boy Network, but they had way more experience than Getsy. And please don't insult, embarrass yourself by telling me about how he and Devontae had a good relationship in Green Bay, and that's why he was hot. No, he was not an offensive coordinator in Green Bay. He was a position coach.
Yeah.
And when you're the offensive coordinator, you are running the ship. You are not down in the engine room or the radio operator. You are running the ship. And the question is Getsy ready for this kind of responsibility? You've already seen how he's struggling to make and if he doesn't get that offensive line working, that's his job. I'm sorry. They can't do zone blocking. All right?
Yeah, wait a second. Can I go back real quick? Remember you said that 3 of the 5 have never been zone blockers. Which 3?
Never 3. That would be Miller. That would be Whitehair. That's who I specifically look for. And James. And Parham, maybe 1 year in college. That's it. Certainly, as long as they've been Raiders, they haven't zone blocked.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I know Mumford being the Ohio State guy was all
Yeah,
power.
right. And these are the things that an offensive coordinator with experience would know. Don't impose on your guys. Look at your talent level. You can later, a couple of years down the line, start changing people out if you're determined to zone block. But for now, you are screwing the entire offense up. And let's call it like it is. Pierce's job depends on how well
Oh
Gibson
yeah.
does. You cannot be successful with just defense. Ask our guy, what's his name, Tony Dungy in Tampa Bay, when Tampa Bay finally had to get rid of him. Why? Couldn't generate any offense. He was one of the greatest ever. No offense, no quarterback. I mean, these are things, just the little things that make or break a guy's career. And I just would hate to see Pierce. I mean, he has got to know that he's got to do something about that offensive line. Take the new learning off of their plate. Let's start there. Let them go back to doing what they do.
I got a question, and I'm sure that you're going to help me with. By the way, I got a coach. I got it literally on Instagram. That is a dynamic coach here in West Central Florida, Coach Jeremy Frio. Thank you. Okay, Coach. Hopefully, get with me, and he's a dynamic coach. His Spongers are 4-0, and he again dynamic high school coach. But this high school coach is better than what Luke Getzey is doing right now.
I mean, Did you see some of those screens? I could have drawn them up for JV, my little Pee-wee team. I used to coach Pee-wee back in the day. I could have drawn it up and they could have executed it better. Who throws across the length of the field and their body to start a screen? 7, 8, 9 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Who even designs that? This is the kind of thing that you get from a guy who only has 2 years experience as an offensive coordinator. And I'm going to tell you, I'm looking at Joe Philbin. I'm liking him better and better, right? He's sitting over there as a assistant, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And see,
I'm liking Joe Philbin a lot better.
I was going to say, there's got to be somebody on this staff that can help out. And Joe Philbin is the guy. Joe Philbin is the offensive senior assistant, like Marvin Lewis is the defensive senior assistant.
Correct.
Like Rob Ryan is the defensive senior. The defense is good to go. We need Joe Philbin to take old boy and put him under and give him noogies. Okay? Like this.
How you going to put that knowledge in his head? How you going to put the knowledge of play design, how to involve all of your weapons, more importantly, how to get that offensive line playing well and run blocking so that poor little Zamir can even, I mean, right now, Zamir is extremely frustrating. I mean, he's been trained to run one way, and then all of a sudden, oh, by the way, you need to grow eyes on the side of your head now. Well, hell, he's already been through college, a successful college career, and been in the NFL 3 years. Mm-hmm. How's he going to suddenly grow a pair of eyes so he can see those cutback lanes? That's not his style. Okay? Why are you designing stuff to style? Let's go to special teams. I always mention my special teams. I still think the Raiders have the best kicking game in the NFL, but I'm biased. What do you give our special teams? I think they've been solid. What do you think?
I'm trying to think. I think
there was a missed field goal.
You're taking my stuff, damn it. I said other than Carlson missing one. Other than and like I was just ready. And then there was. Come on, Peggy. I only got so little. Other than Carlson, that was a wow. That was a head scratcher.
Well, you
In
know,
this,
when
in
it
this
rains,
bubble.
it pours,
Yeah,
as they say.
and it's one of those things where
Nothing
we
was going right week one. Go ahead.
yeah, we needed it. But yeah, I would say, and I'm being biased, but I'm like, I love punt coverage. I love our kickoff returns. I love
Hmm.
obviously the points that we're getting. Other than that one missed field goal by Carlson, which is like that's his not his norm. That's out of the ordinary. I would
Hmm.
say I would say A minus. I mean, because you can't get the A because of that one thing, but A minus for sure.
And let's go right to the defense, starting with the defensive line. Oof. Let's go right to the defensive line. What grade are you going to give them? Of course, I give special teams an A. So let's move on. You know, they're my
Ooh.
favorite. They're
So
like my favorite part of the team.
I'm actually harder than you tonight.
Uh,
And normally it's the other way around. You're saying I'm
mhm.
soft. Um, the D line, well, the dynamic, the D got gassed against the Chargers in the
And
second
they
half.
got gassed against the Ravens as well.
Yeah. But for the most part, I would say D line is a solid A minus B plus.
And really, our plans are not really in fruition. We got two guys that got hurt on us that we expected to be a part of this line. We were very excited about what they could do with Tyree Wilson, right?
Yeah,
Moving him around. We haven't had the benefit of that. He's hurt. And of course, Coots is on IR. I mean, it's a shame when you see a guy's, improving week after week after week, and you're really excited about the new season, and then he's hurt. 4 games.
yeah.
And now, they're going to have to work him back in, very slowly. I mean, I'm wondering if he can pick up where he left off. We shall see what kind of athlete he is. But I did expect what I saw both weeks was a gassed defensive line by the fourth quarter. I'm sorry, Max. Everyone loves you and everything, but all that energy you're expending in quarter 1 and 2, I need you to save some of it for quarter 4. And I mean, he made a great sack on the boy Sunday. I mean, Jackson on Sunday in the
Right,
fourth
right.
quarter.
But that was a co-sack because Wilkins took the guy in and Max
Mm-hmm.
looped around him at the right time. So that was a 1A and 1B sack because had Wilkins not done his job and left that Max all the way open for that, that was
Mm-hmm.
dynamic. That was wonderful. So give Wilkins, even though he wasn't there, he should get like half a sack for in
And
theory.
Ace Brown, not only did they make Lamar one dimensional, the most important thing that they did, our defensive game plans, by the way, have been on fire. I mean, they know exactly what to do. Not only was Lamar one dimensional, but he was contained. There were no breakout runs. Some say because he was scared he was going to meet the Grim Reaper. Max told him early, "You come out this thing, we gonna hit you, boy." Okay, but he was contained. His rushing was not a factor, but Derrick Henry, and this is why I'm talking about the defensive line and the linebackers saving some of that energy for the fourth quarter. When you got guys like week 1, we had Gus and that other boy Dobbins, and week 2, we had Derrick Henry. Those are guys that are going to kill you in the fourth quarter, not the first quarter.
Right.
Okay? They get to going. They get their engine started. They start running downhill on you. You are done. And it almost happened. We gave up 172 yards rushing to the Chargers, and we gave up 151 yards rushing to the Ravens. And of course, a lot of that came in the fourth quarter. Okay, that's not going to hurt us so far, and it's certainly not going to hurt us against a team like the Panthers. but it will hurt us against some of the better teams. Okay.
Yeah.
We really got to save some of the energy. I'm going to give the D line a B, and now let's go to the linebackers. And who cannot talk about Mr. Spillane?
Mickey, my buddy Mick. I know that's what I call Mickey Spillane, because I'm old and like that.
No. But we remember I knew who. I mean, that's who I always accidentally call him, Mickey. But he's not a Mickey. The thing, he is the only real linebacker that we have.
Yes, he is.
Unfortunately,
yeah.
We need 2 more linebackers. The thing a linebacker gives you is anticipation and the ability to be where the ball is going to be. That takes thinking. Something our poor little thing, Diablo, bless his heart. A converted safety. Thank you, Jay Crump, for telling me he's not a real linebacker, but it shows. I don't need them to react. I need a linebacker must be proactive, okay? And with Diablo, it's always reacting. I mean, I saw him on the backside of so many of those runs, just a step away from stopping it behind the line of scrimmage. He came through the gap late, okay? There was a gap there, and he came through late because he didn't see it.
Yeah.
And Spillane sees it. He sees it.
I actually agree. I actually agree with Mike Serra here because I like Diablo, but
he's hurt anyway, isn't he? I think he's hurt.
Yeah, well, he's not playing up to the par. Eichenberg and Gaynor are prototypical smack you upside the head linebackers that can go side to side and run up. Okay.
I need them to know where the ball is going. What gap? Yeah. They have to be able to read the keys.
Yeah, and I think I know Eichenberg can do that because he's a Big Ten prototypical linebacker. Gaynor showed why he is there. I mean, he was doing it all preseason, and his last game, he cemented his spot because he was just all over. I can't remember who we played, though. Was it the Cowboys?
Well, I'm mystified why we're still continuing those 4-2-5 alignments. And that means the 2 have to be the best we can offer, and we only have 1.
Well, I think they need to move. I think thanks, Mike, San Francisco. I think we need to move Eichenberg and move them both, actually, like depending upon run or pass.
Why are we talking about Eichenberg like he got some history in the NFL taking regular season snaps? I don't understand. He's a rookie.
Because well, the thing is, it doesn't matter if he's so a Gaynor is if
he will be what as advertised.
Then let's find out. Let's find out because
I think
I would rather find out and say, okay, we messed up, okay, because based upon what I've seen on tape. Granted, it was college and preseason, and Eichenberg is working back from injuries, by the way. But a prototypical linebacker, that's Eichenberg. A prototypical, kind of like that coverage linebacker that the Raiders have not been able. Okay, well, the Raiders have not been able to do that for 30 years. So I was getting to that. Okay,
I mean, I'm hoping. What's your grade, Captain, for that unit? I mean, Spillane just takes my breath away. I've been praying for a linebacker like that for 20 years.
Yeah, and he's wearing the right number too,
isn't he?
Yeah. I know Phil is very happy that Spillane is sporting 41. I know Phil is beside himself happy on that.
Well, the way the D-line and the linebackers have been working in the first 3 quarters, I got to give them a B. Okay? I mean, they're part of the same hand. They're all fingers on the same hand. And I can't say enough. If we could only get that number 2 linebacker, which I kind of think we should be in a 4-3-4. I think our corners are that good. But that's another discussion for another day. Then we'll need a 3rd linebacker. You know? We gotta work on that. Pierce has been a former linebacker, right?
Yeah.
There's Marvin Lewis sitting over there, and Graham. Get busy, fellas. We need some linebackers that can anticipate, that are proactive, can read their keys and be in those gaps. And especially in the 4th quarter is where I really need them. I just need my linebackers to be around the ball all the time. What do you think, Captain?
Oh, no, I agree. And well, yes, but the Raiders defense, I don't know. I'm sure you got the statistics because you do stuff like that. The Raiders defense has got to be definitively top 10, if not top 5.
Number 6.
There you go.
Okay. And I think we'll stay there. We're a top 10 defense. There's no doubt in my mind. And like I said, the game plans have been superb. Nobody got in the first, even in the first game, Herbert didn't get to do what he wanted to do. And they couldn't run for 3 quarters. Okay. Yeah. Second game, Lamar, it's like a child. He's like, please don't hit me. And when you force Lamar to be a pocket quarterback, well, my God, anything can happen. And now what grade did you give to our linebacking unit?
No, I would agree with you on that. It's actually it's kind of like I did the A and an incomplete because that's what it is.
Right. Well, we're talking about how they function as a unit, and I think they support that D line superbly, at least in the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
Now we go, and I'm gonna leave the safeties for last. I want to talk about those corners we got. I think we got man press corners. What is the audience seeing? I think we got 2 press corners. I'm not sure. I'm sure Jones is.
Yeah.
For sure.
Jones is. I think Bennett is too.
And he's young. And last year his baptism by fire got interrupted because he got hurt. Remember?
Right. Yeah. No. And that's why I said Bennett is good to go in the definitely because it was like Jones and who's going to be on the other side. That's what the question was. Jones and who's going to be on the other side.
Question now. Bennett needs to go through he needs to complete his baptism. And he's going to make mistakes that Jones won't make. Jones is a solid veteran. But I think, help me out here, I think we got 2 press corners, which means, Graham, you need a 4-3-4. Yeah. You can trust those 2 guys on the outside, I think. I'm not sure. You don't need...
90%. I'll take the 90% solution because, again, you said that they're not always going to – you're going to get burned.
Of course.
You're going to get burned. You can't be perfect. You can't be, Dion and Green from the Redskins all the time. You can't be those guys all the time. You can't be Hayes and Haynes all the time. Okay?
But you can surely work. I think they have the potential, which, but I'm not sure because I haven't seen enough. But I think they're both press corners. They're both guys I can trust one-on-one. They
got stick 'em on them by talent, not by goop. Okay, they got stick 'em on them. They're good. They're gonna get with you. They're gonna hold on. That's the the hold on type of thing. Because again, the wrong officials, and don't even get me and ref started.
Yeah,
On
don't even get me started. But
yeah,
now, what's
but
your
they're
grade
good.
for a corner play so far? I'm
Uh,
impressed.
well, Merrick Epps, he
No, no,
was.
no. See, that's not a corner. That's safety. We saving the safety for last.
Okay. I thought we went to safety there. Corners, no. I'm gonna give them a. I'm gonna give them an A minus. Not perfect yet. A minus. They work
Right?
for it.
I give him a B, and they haven't been embarrassing me. You know,
Yeah.
with no name receivers like we had week 1, nobody burned them. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And that was good. I felt confident. And then I did see Zay Flowers, however, get loose a lot.
Well, but those were busted plays. I
Yes,
think that
and
yeah, every big play that Zay Flowers made was off a busted play. It wasn't a design play. It was one of those plays that just happened because he got lost in the mess in the wash, and then he squirts out and he goes somewhere where he shouldn't
yes,
be, and he's waving his hand, and he's definitely jumping up and down waving his hand because Zay Flowers is probably like about 5'5", or
I
he
didn't
just
even
looks
know.
like that.
Did anybody know the name of the other? What other receiver did the Ravens have? Because I don't know his name. It
No,
wasn't
I know
called.
who their tight ends are, but I don't know who the other receiver was.
Poor little Mark Andrews. He's been struggling back. Let me tell you, Mark Andrews at 100%, he's a dangerous guy. But
Yeah,
fortunately, we don't have to deal with him because he's been struggling.
yeah.
Last year he was hurt, and I understand he's still not 100%. Thank God. Let somebody else have that
Right,
problem later
and
on in the season.
let's worry about it if we have to play him again. And I say if. I'm not one of
If
those people that when, but if we have to play him again, great. Then we'll figure it out. But he was hurt last year. I don't think he's fully back. And it was kind of like the
no,
Colton Miller thing, where you said he has regressed. Mark Andrews is a little older in the tooth, and he's
yeah,
not playing up to. But that they don't really honestly need to worry about because Likely has stepped up very well for the Ravens in that
that's
respect.
his name. That's the second receiver. Poor little
Yeah,
thing didn't catch
Likely.
nothing.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
see that last play at the end of the game where Jones just gives him a karate chop? He's up to catch the ball, right, and then suddenly karate chop.
Was
And
that
of
was
course,
that the one where the picture of me?
I'm not sure. Were you there, Captain? I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
saw a bunch of people crowding around after that wonderful play where they broke it up. But it was suddenly Jones went right up with him, and bam, that ball went flying somewhere else. And finally, let's get to our safeties, Epps and Morey. What are you thinking? I I like those guys, but
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say there's a but there, and don't you even go there, Peggy. I know that you're talking, but I say there's a but
I'm
there.
waiting. I'm waiting for your grade, and I'm waiting for you to tell me what the but is.
The but is they play and they're good at times, and then
Yes.
the but is then they give up the play that you're like, oh man. But there's always an oh man play. So
Yes.
I would say, and this is being kind, a C. Because
Yeah.
they make the good
Me
play.
too.
It's
Hmm.
kind of like Philip Buchanan. Philip giveth and Philip taketh away. He'll do a really good play. And for those that don't know what I'm saying, go back and watch tape. Phil Buchanan will be that great play, and then the next
Oh
play
my God.
he'll make a stupid penalty, to give
Hmm.
the yardage back. So that's what our safeties is. Merrick and Epps, they'll have those
Hmm.
really good plays, and then they'll just do something incredibly like what the foxtrot did they just do?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Well, I really am hopeful. Like I said, when I see a guy like Morig and I look at the tackle stats and I see him like the third, highest tackler.
That's the problem.
That doesn't really make me happy.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Maybe guys, y'all can tell me why I'm not happy about that. Because my safeties are making tackles. That means the guy is in the second level.
Yeah.
The
Well,
runners
actually,
at the second level.
what I'd like to see on that, and maybe they can divide it. I want to see how many of those tackles are of not receivers. Okay, because they're supposed to tackle the receivers.
Yeah, and they do count those tackles, but a
But
lot of those.
but they don't divide them. No, I want to see how many of those are eligible wide receivers and tight ends, and how many are running backs and quarterbacks. Because if they have a lot of running backs and quarterbacks, then that means that those guys are getting through and they're going into the secondary where they have to be tackled, which is why they're called safeties, because that's your safety is the last guy to get there.
Exactly. He's the last line of resistance. People have been a little bit more critical of Epps. They feel like he's out of position. And that's what we talk about when we talk about Diablo, is that anticipation, that ability to read what's going on in front of him. And you know who was the master, Woodson. My God, I thought he was in the quarterback's head. The way he knew, where the ball was coming. I mean, you cannot beat that kind of knowledge. And I'm hoping that Epps, I think he's the reason why he gave him a C. I really do.
Yeah.
He's just not in position a lot of times. And I'm trying to figure out why.
Okay, well, having said that, then when does Brown, the wunderkind from UGA, gets that starting spot and supplant him?
Well, it seems like generally, and our last grade is going to be on coaching overall at offensive and defensive, but it seems to be a reluctance to play the young guys. I don't know whether it's just there's the injuries or something else is going on, but I mean, I should have been seeing Gaynor and Bernie out there on the field. Yeah. I don't understand. The linebacker play has not been, especially in the fourth quarter when they're winded. I would expect to see, but I don't see it. And of course, I'm wondering why Glaze and JPJ aren't given their chance. I mean,
see, you worked the way around.
Yes, I did.
I was waiting for you to go there. And
it's something about rookies going on.
But here's the thing: you drafted them for a reason.
Yes,
you drafted them for a reason. And if Mumford ain't it at right tackle, but he plays better over on the left side, and if Glaze played decent on the right side, and JPJ is going to be coming in and supplant Whitehair at left guard, okay.
You still got a problem at right guard. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, yeah, but here's the center. Well, that's why I said and I've been saying this, and you've been saying this for a long time as well. Put Parham at center.
Put him at center.
Put him at center.
Smallest guy on your line. Put him at center.
Yeah, then maybe you figure out if James, and Parham when he was playing center, was the guy that actually was looking up and was figuring things out. I do remember that.
I do remember that at all. He was he's supposed to be a turtle. You know how the turtle is in his little shell, and then he just all of a sudden sticks his head out, right, to see that's what my center's supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
He's the quarterback of the O-line.
Yes.
He's got to be the last, take a final look before he gets down into his stance. I don't see James doing that at all. Do you?
No.
How can he run the line and not look?
Well,
I don't understand. What's going on?
They need to figure out, and this is going to be the year. they need to figure out if JPJ is going to be the center of the future, or are they going to keep him at guard for another year? And are they finally going to move Parham over to center for a year or two?
Right.
Okay. And then they just need a guard, and they need another tackle. They do need another tackle. That's for sure. So the next draft, they better be going guard tackle high.
I mean, guard is just such a crucial play, and I hope Raider Nation sees how critical it is. I mean, those three guys, guard, center, guard, they are the heart of your O-line. They are just the heart. And if that's malfunctioning, you don't have an O-line. You just don't have one. And that's what we're facing. And when you don't have an O-line, you don't have a running game.
I'm reading from Instagram, and Real Raider Pete, thank you for that. James was extended. JPJ will probably remain a guard. Hey, we've had contracts where we screwed up and we figured it out. And they screwed up. They screwed up in our estimation by extending James.
Yeah.
And you you eat a contract. Oh, you got to go get the
get the door. I'll be right back.
While Miss Peggy is gone because she has to go get something at the door, and I knew this was coming. Actually, great because we've at least had the full hour pretty much. If they figured it out and because JPJ eventually is going to be that guy. I think he's eventually going to be the center. Maybe he's the guard this year to get his feet down from under him, so he figures it out. But JPJ eventually is going to be that center, which means they still need another guard because Parham is light in the ass.
Very, and that's why everybody keeps saying, moving to center. But you signed a guy for 3 years at center, so you really don't need that. But I've got to run. I'm close to my timeout. Duty calls, but I have had a ball, Captain, and we will be back here 2 Thursdays from now to give the report card on the next 2 games. I like to do it 2 games at a time, and I'm hoping the Panthers. I mean, like seriously, everybody's talking about. Oh my God, Andy Dalton is in.
Yeah, but I know, but these are the games. These are the games that scare the bejesus
they're gonna
out of me.
sneak up on us, right?
Right. We were supposed to steamroll Chicago last year. We got swamped. We were supposed to roll over the Saints, and we got 30
and who was the head coach when that happened?
I get it. But
I mean, nobody wanted to play for him. So I really no, I'm not looking past the Panthers at all. The problem with the Panthers, and I actually watched them in action, and I know exactly why Bryce Young was benched. They're not going to tell you, but football IQ suspect. I mean, he has the physical skills, but he don't learn. He just does not learn from what he did. Frank Reich tried to teach him. The guy who replaced Frank Reich tried to teach him. He's on his 3rd offensive coordinator, and they bench him. Okay? A message is in there somewhere. And sometimes you make a mistake. But putting Andy Dalton out there with the rest of the Carolina O-line offense and RBs, as I said in one of my articles, it's like putting Superman out there with kryptonite all around him. It's just not going to work for him. Anyway, got to run. I will hope good luck to the Raiders Sunday. I hope we can get that O-line together, because that's the key to this team really reaching its potential. Okay. See you soon, Captain.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. You got the Raiders report card. And so I will be here. As you know, I'm here every Thursday, but every other Thursday, we're going to do Raiders report card. And we'll go over, because again, I put it in the quotes. Miss Peggy knows more than you. I don't mind saying it. She knows more than you, but she's willing to let y'all know her knowledge so you appear smarter. And I'm talking to the gentleman out there. So, read a report card with Miss Peggy every other Thursday. And then you get me on the back end. So hopefully I will be doing as I can. I will do other shows Tuesdays. I guess I can do that. Except for when I'm coming back from the Monday night game against the Dirty Birds, but that's way down the road. Ed Winchell says good night. So, and I agree with B. Al. One person like JPJ can drastically improve the line, but he needs to be there. And let Glaze be out there. And let Mumford move to left tackle. And if Mumford can't do it, then that's why you signed Andres Pete. If Miller, who is supposed to be the linchpin, is not doing it, I'm not above. Like you said, you gave James an extension for 3 years. Okay, well, he's playing this year, but you might eat the last 2 years of that contract. I don't know what the contract is. I didn't sign him. I didn't write the checks. But you need to get the best 5 guys out there. And Cody Whitehair is not one of your best 5 guys. And if Glazes and Mumford moves over, and I said they got Meredith, who is a guard. If Meredith can play better than Whitehair, and Meredith scares me. I mean, he plays good in the preseason, which is why he's on the team. And he plays good enough to be a backup guy. And again, I go by these guys are professionals. I'm not. I'm a professional guy sitting in a chair. I have a professional opinion, which you may or may not want to hear. But I will say this, and by the way, thank you for all those that have joined me. I'm not going anywhere yet, because if you want to come in and talk, I'm putting the link up here. There's your link. If you're on what do you call it? If you're on Instagram, I'm going to put the link up as well. If you want to come into the studio, there's your link. It's on Instagram. It's on YouTube. It's on Facebook. There's the link. Hit it up if you want to talk about this is your chance. So hit the link. It's there. I know on Instagram you actually they don't do it. It's not something you can touch. On Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, you can do it. Hey, all the best to you there as well, Phil. Good to see you, brother. I'm talking to Instagram. And thank you. We are on the National Streaming Sports Network on Roku. We are on Northeast Streaming Sports on YouTube. We're on a couple of my Facebooks, the captain and my personal one, JJ Allen Levy. So if you got something, pop in. I'd like to see it. But I put the links up. If you can see it, if you can hit it, if you want to talk, come on in and talk. Because again, I'm here. By the way, since I am wearing the shirt, okay, if you're looking for chocolate chip cookies, there is a Raiderette in Brawley, California. And I'm trying to think. Oh my goodness, she has the best cookie shop, and her cookies are divine. Chocolate chip, sugar doodle, or sugar snickerdoodle. Sorry, sugar cookies and oatmeal raisin. All of those cookies. And gosh darn it, let me see if I can figure out get the um, who it is, for who you need to see for cookies. Okay, because she is in Brawley. That's where I got this shirt, and go see her for cookies. Okay, let me see if I can find. I know who it should be. I want to make sure I don't screw up the name. Okay. There we go. Lisa Velasco. Lisa Velasco. Look her up on Facebook. Lisa Velasco, and she I definitely, hook her up as far as she's got that cookie shop, and I tell you, you will not go wrong getting cookies from Lisa Velasco. So go see her. If not, shame on you. I put the link up. If you're there, because again, this show works best. This show works best when you and we all talk. I have no clue. I have no clue what's going on. I have what? The Batman? The Batman? The newest iteration of Batman is on TV. I have no clue. I know that the Phillies were getting rocked. And I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to watch a Phillies game when they're just getting shellacked. Not going to do it. So I will try to put on. I got to change sourcing to go and watch the football game. Whoop. Make sure that I don't lose this. But I have no clue. I have no clue what's going on the football game. Okay, Prime Video. Okay, there. Well, I need to make sure that I put the volume down because I don't want to get a YouTube strike. So let's see here. I'll tell you in a minute. For those that were asking, if you are asking, Thursday Night Football. Really? Oh, I get a spinning circle of death. That's not what I wanted to see. I don't want to. Come on, I don't care about this. I get an advertisement. Really? Okay, they're making this difficult. Okay, I'm gonna have to go over and actually put on Prime Video. No, I don't want Tubi. I don't want to. I don't want Pew. Oh, 14. Thanks, Asa. 14-3 Jets. At least we have a score. Thank you, sir. So Jets winning, not surprisingly, because again, I would say not surprisingly. Let's see here. So I'm going to put the game on because again, the Phillies were getting shellacked. I'm not going to watch that. I am not going to watch that. But if you would like to come into the show, come on into the show. And I'm waiting for something to actually pop in. And again, if you're watching on Instagram, thank you for watching. If you're watching on any of the what's that? Badass Nails by Maggie. All right. Badass Nails by Maggie on Instagram came in. Yeah, well, of course I said watch. Why is this button not working? Really? There you go. Hopefully you got that. Ace, at least. I'd like to thank you, at least, Asa, for telling me what the score is. This is the slowest. Maybe I need new batteries. Maybe. I don't. Nothing's going. Nothing's on the screen now. Okay, now I got circles, spinning circles. Okay, I got the New York skyline. Okay. 14-3 with 7 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third quarter. Jets are on the New England 16-yard line, 1st and 10. So there you're caught up. You don't want me to do game play-by-play. I can, but I'd rather talk to you here. Salute to you as well, Richard Lyon. Thank you for being here, brother. I see Jacoby Brissett's warming up. I don't know. Is he playing that bad? I didn't see any of the first half. I didn't see any of the first half. And it looked, first down and 1st and goal. Wilson, the receiver, almost broke it up. Aaron Rodgers doesn't look great. Okay. I was just going to ask. I was going to say, are the Jets all that? They're going to be 2-1 after tonight. They didn't look really good in San Francisco week 1. But then again, San Francisco went out and laid an egg week 2. Raiders didn't look good week 1 and then went out and beat the Ravens when they needed to. So this is definitely one of those topsy-turvies. Oh, did he catch it? Wow. That was a hell of a good defensive play, but not quite good enough. Garrett Wilson with the touchdown. Jets are now up 20-0. Touchdown. Yeah. Richard says they look, nah. They look, meh. And Bob Stannard, good to see you as well. Oh, he almost had the knockout. He knocks the ball out where it does. Again, folks, 6 minutes and 18 seconds. Jets are going for their point after. They are now up 21-3. You're caught up. We did have a chance to talk about the Raiders report card for weeks 1 and 2 with Miss Peggy. Every 2 weeks, we'll have Raiders report card. And we'll let you have it. Miss Peggy will let you have it. She doesn't hold back. That those grades they are authentic. But if you don't want to, if you got nothing else going on, I got to pack because I will be flying to Vegas tomorrow, and I got to get my stuff together. So I no more than 15 minutes on here. I'll be here if you'd like to be here. I think we play like we did the second half. We look like, yes, Richard, I agree. And we were actually talking about that where the offense made some big adjustments, and Miss Peggy was alluding to the fact that maybe it was Joe Philbin getting in Luke Getsy's ass. Because I know that there was some talk, or you saw the pictures on the sideline where Antonio Pierce was talking with Getsy, and Getsy didn't look like he was really happy. And then the Raiders' offense looked a lot better in the second half. They were down 10 twice and came back from it both times, winning by 3. And that's all. It doesn't matter. You win by 1. Point is to win the game. So if you want to talk about it, you have up only 15 more minutes because I will do the rest of the packing I need. It'll be 10:30. And if you don't come in, that's fine too. I don't know how many people are over on YouTube. Oh, okay. 11 people are watching. Oh, okay. Richard says, I heard that we are switching to a different O-line scheme. Well, that needs to be done. That needs to be done. If they're switching to, okay, you're good, Rich. I appreciate that. Whatever needs to be done to improve the O-line play, great. Doug, I'm not sure about Peppermill because I don't know whether I will be doing a show at a certain place. So I don't know. And I hate doing a show because I have done a show at Peppermill, but there's so much there's so much noise. So I'd actually like to do a show. I'd actually like to go to Peppermill and eat, and not have to worry about a show. So we'll see about that. We'll see about that. But hopefully we'll see you for a Peppermill. If I have to do a show on Sunday in the time slot, maybe I'll do a nice play. Was that Brissett? Yeah, that was a nice pass by Brissett. Okay, good. So Brissett's still in there. Somebody's calling me. Oh, Hollywood's calling me. 1 second, folks. I will be right back. I'm going to mute this. I'll be right back. Well, I'm sorry. Thank you, Rich. I was muted because I was going to answer the phone, but thank you for telling me I was muted. I would just be doing this. As I was saying, you got 20 minutes to make up 18 points. Can you do it without letting them score? We'll see. If you'd like to come into the show, thanks. Rich has got me. If you'd like to come into the show, please do. Because if you're not talking and I ain't talking, oh, that was a hospital pass. Laid him out to get hurt. Anyway, what can I say? I guess you guys are watching the game. That's fine. Remember, every other Thursday, it looks like we're going to be having the Raider report card. I will try to do shows on every Tuesday so that you can call in as well. But if you're not calling in, you're going to have to call in on Tuesdays. But we'll see about that. Yeah, Rich, a lot of us, I still wanted AOC 12 to be our quarterback because I think he has more upside. But Minshew, oh my God, is that Hussey? Yeah, it looks like him. Oh God, John Hussey. Anyway, and I only know these officials because I listened to Ref Guru on his show. And I think Aiden O'Connell is better too. I think Aiden O'Connell will be the future, but he needs to get in there. Anyway, I guess nobody wants to pop in. I know, Rich, you would pop in if you were not at work. I get it, Rich. No worries about that. Yeah, that is some major hands to the face. That is some major holding. So that did they call two? Did they call two penalties on the defense? They should have. Reset breaks out. That's holding. So that one's coming back. Would have been a first down to Hooper, but that's coming back. Well, I think he is better than last year, Rich. I really do. Nice play by the Patriots is negated by a holding penalty by Wallace playing left tackle. And this one was really obvious hold. Really obvious hold with the takedown. Hands all over. Again, folks, if you would like to pop in, you didn't pop in, that's fine. I will be back. Remember, I will be in Vegas starting tomorrow, and y'all have a great rest of your night. I will do the outro. I didn't even do an intro tonight. Oh, and that's grounding. So that's grounding on Brissett. It actually got killed. But y'all take care. We will see you Sunday for a show. Doug, hopefully I'll see you over at Peppermill. That will be good. But as we know, games. Yeah, I know. I get it as well, Rich. Yeah, holding on the Patriots. That was declined. Intentional fourth ground. Oh, okay. So it was another holding call. So they took the grounding out of the equation. Just the one penalty. But yeah, that's it's kind of grounding. That's kind of a hold. Y'all take care. We'll see you next time. Be well. Yeah, I'm out, Rich. I'm out. Nobody wants to pop in, and I hate listening to myself talk. That's why I have the show. So hopefully people, and yeah, I know you're at work, so you're covered. So thank you for doing that. Y'all take care. We will see you on our next show.